Well, good morning, everyone. Here we go again, another not ready for prime time YouTube. Anyhow, it's hard to believe we're just halfway through the course, and now we're kind of entering that home stretch category. As we look at how far we have come under the inductive model I proposed early on when I met you, vision is that destination, that story for that year, 3, 5, 7 years out. Mission, your purpose, why you exist. Core values, guiding principles, they measure the rightness and wrongness of your vision and mission. They are your guideposts. The SWOT analysis helps you identify what you do well, what you do less well, where the areas of threat are, where the areas of opportunity are, and from the SWOT analysis, you usually will model out your goals or your pillars that represent the gap between where you are today and where you need to be in the future. And that's part of the strategic planning process. Last couple weeks, we focused on understanding the strategies. These are the touch points, what you're going to put behind your goals to drive the implementation of a strategic plan. Behind a strategy, you will typically have initiatives, you will have objectives, you will have KPIs or key performance indicators. And we're going to be talking about that in the weeks ahead as we kind of bring our course together. I want to highlight a few things about this week we're in and why most strategic plans, if they're successful, roughly 30% make it successfully beyond year number 1 or year number 2. And there's a couple reasons for that. It's great to develop a strategic plan, but if you don't know how to guide your organization through change, it ain't worth a hill of beans. And there were some things that I pointed out to you in week 8 and week 9 that I really want you to top line, okay? Simon Sinek's legacy presentation on how to drive culture change. Look at that 8-minute video, and it really talks about the engagement of people, process, and system. And it works. Sometimes you don't always get the 70% to buy in, but look at his model under successive approximation. Look at my PowerPoint on change management. This is what I use in my executive MBA programs, and it's leading change on stealth mode. And it gives you all the current frameworks and models that are currently out there that I will top line. You know, they talk about organizational development. This is the process where leading an organization through change and guiding people and process and systems to get there. Recall that I mentioned the word VUCA. We live in this world of volatility and uncertainty, and part of dealing with that is having a clear and defined vision of the future, and I think we've outlined that. When it comes to change management models, take a hard look at the Kotter 8-step change management model. It is a terrific model, and it talks about the 8 deadly sins and what you can do as a leader to overcome that as you drive your strategic planning process. Look at this corporate cholesterol model that's out there. And it's actually a pretty good questionnaire you have to ask your organization. Are you stuck in a mode where change will never happen? Look at the ADKAR model, which is very, very popular out there and used in a lot of organizations in terms of creating awareness, creating a desire for change, creating knowledge, creating the ability and the reinforcement to achieve that change. Also, take a look at the Kubler-Ross transition curve, right? They talk about the 5 stages of grief. Well, there's 5 to 6 stages of organizational transition. And normally you have to go through these inflection points before you can get to a successful outcome. Take a look at the McKinsey 7S model. Very, very important model. And it talks about your vision. While it's the center of the universe, you have to get structure, systems, style, staff, skills, and strategy all in a perfect alignment around that execution of that strategy. Look at the Deming model. Been around for 50, 60 years, but every continuous quality improvement culture I've ever worked with has this CQI mindset. Plan, do, check, act. Take a look at the Bridges model, right? How do you manage transition? How do you get people through change? Well, the truth be told, there are 3 stages of transition. You know, they talk about endings, the neutral zone, and then new beginnings. Sometimes you're not going to get people to change unless you get closure, unless you open up that cathartic conversation and talk about what people are letting go, what they're going to miss. But then you have to create that optimism when you're in that neutral zone about what those new beginnings will all look like. I know this is a lot of stuff, a lot of different models, and I hope you found some of the work that I have presented to you on change management to be of value. And down the road, as you refine your leadership development effort, it may behoove you to take a more formal course in change management, in organizational development, because that is what typically is lacking in most successful strategic plans. Well, everyone, I hope you're doing well. We're about ready to enter weeks number 10, 11, and 12, where we're going to actually go through some case studies and hopefully apply some of the models that we've learned so far in our journey together. As noted, I'm also going to put some information out there on how to do a business plan. Let's say you're an entrepreneur, you have an idea. What is it that an investor or an angel would look like, or a small business bank, in order for you to fund a project? So with that regard, I'll put some PowerPoints in there, and I'll put some examples of what a business plan, small business plan, might look like, so you can show up on Shark Tank and make $1 million. Anyhow, good talking with you. I'm in the Benicia Harbor today, or shall I put it, Ryan's Harbor, and looking forward to future conversation. So hope you're well, and just keep on trucking.